And the leader of the Islamic State West African Province jihadist group, Abu Musab al-Barnawi, is dead. That's according to Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabor, as the ISWAP group has not given any confirmation of al-Barnawi's death. CDS Irabor did not give details on how or when al-Barnawi had died. Al-Barnawi is the son of the founder of Nigeria's Boko Haram militant group. The ISWAP commander rose to prominence after splitting with Boko Haram in 2016 over differences with his commander Abubakar Shekau, who died earlier this year during infighting between the two factions. And joining me now to speak more about this is a security expert, Kabir Adamu. Good to have you join us.
Good. Hello.
All right, so let's look at this. Just as we stated earlier in our introduction, we know how al-Barnawi came to power in terms of terrorism because of an infighting in the Boko Haram sect, and he left to form the ISWAP, which was some sort of sect or splinter group of rather ISIS. But earlier we had heard that Shekau is dead, and now we're also getting reports that al-Barnawi might also be dead. What does this mean for us as a country in terms of the fight against terrorism?
Thank you, and good afternoon once again. In simple terms, it means we have an opportunity. The almost 11 plus years of counterinsurgency campaign that we have been waging is beginning to bear fruit that, if we capitalize upon, would lead us to either contain or, in some context, to eradicate at least the major consequences of the terrorism. The two persons, that's Shekau, who died in May, and then al-Barnawi, if it is confirmed that he's dead, happened in August. So within this two period, we have seen the types of surrendering that you mentioned in your report by members of these two major groups, that the Islamic State in West Africa Province and the Jamaat al-Ahlisina al-Dawat wal-Jihad. So these are remarkable developments that, if we capitalize upon, could lead us to that promised land of containing or, if possible, eradicating the activities of these two groups in the Lake Chad Basin area.
And like you rightly noted, this one will understand that right now, if he's dead, within that group, there is a moment where they're thinking of who takes over from where he left off. It, of course, is a moment of weakness. So you've been talking about capitalizing on it. How do we do that? What should the Nigeria security agencies be doing at the moment?
So we have a national that was launched, if I remember well, in 2014 and then revised in 2016. Now that strategy speaks about several components. Unfortunately, the component that appears to have been more proactive is the military component. And in fact, the announcement about all of these successes were made by the military. So a good indication of the fact that it's the military component that is more effective. But for us to capitalize on this opportunity, we need to follow up with those actions within the national counterterrorism strategy that would reduce the influence of those groups, their ability to generate funding, their ability to recruit, and their ability to especially receive weapons, both from within and from outside. Now, if we don't do this, then these groups, as they have shown in the past, are capable of rebuilding themselves based on the resilience and sometimes even the capabilities that they have, both nationally and internationally. And a good example is currently what we're seeing is they have restructured, that's the Islamic State in West Africa Province have restructured into four what they call protectorates. Each of these protectorates having a commander, and in some instances interim commanders, telling us very well that this is their succession plan, and that if we do not respond decisively, and I'm happy to note that the Nigerian military has been carrying out attacks against some of the locations where these protectorates are. And so there is some hope But then beyond that, like I said,
and let's talk about that hope, because you just talked about the commanders. How easy will it be at the moment to take out those commanders? And then how should we be preparing for, because it's possible that we see an influx of repentant ISWAP members. How should we be preparing for that?
It's all about intelligence, generating the right intelligence, and then using that intelligence to target especially those commanders. With regards to the influx of members, especially from Libya and other parts of the world, that is where our border agencies need to wake up. Remember my point earlier on that this is not about the military alone. The military can't do this alone. All the other security agencies need to be carried along under the National Counterterrorism Strategy, protect our borders, identify travel routes, with gun running channels, and block them. Funding capabilities for this group would need to be blocked effectively. It's not the military that will do that. There are, especially in Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and then even our banks will play a role in blocking the funding.
Thank you so much for your insights, as always, security expert Kabir Adamu.
Thank you for having me, Stacey.